So majority of the class has voted to finish My Pet Slime. So that is what we are going to do, and then we will go back to Adventure Kingdom.
Slime by Courtney Scheinmill. Chapter 10. Mr. Goldblatt. I knew I should have taken my backpack to lunch with me, I said. Sometimes we think something is missing, but really we've just misplaced it, Miss Serrato said. I didn't misplace anything, I cried. I think Claire stole it. What are you blaming me for? Claire said. You were the one who wanted to know what I had in my backpack, I said. Everyone else was minding their own business. I know you're upset, Piper, Miss Serrato said, but it's not okay to accuse Claire. She walked out of this classroom at the same time you did. She went to the bathroom during indoor recess, I said, and she took a really long time in there. Enough time to come all the way back here and open my backpack. I was trying to turn the sink off, Claire said. I went to the bathroom right after you, and I turned the sink off no problem, I said. Now, Miss Serrato said. Why don't you tell us what's missing, and we can all help you look for it. I don't help people who call me a liar, Claire said. Prove you're not a liar, I said. Let me see inside your backpack. You can't look in my backpack, Claire said. That proves that you are a liar. It doesn't prove anything except that you're completely weird, Claire said. There wasn't even anything in there except some empty lunch containers and a dust rag. It was a blankie, and that proves you did go into my backpack. Claire, is that true? Miss Serrato asked. Before Claire could answer, I grabbed her backpack out of her cubby. Hey, she said. She grabbed it back from me, and there was a rip sound. She broke it. She broke my backpack. It fell to the ground. Some pencils, an eraser, and her scooter helmet tumbled out, but no Cosmo. Piper, Claire, I think you both need to take a trip to Mr. Goldblatt, Miss Serrato said. But I have my show and tell about my dog Buddy all ready to go, Claire said. And I didn't rip her backpack on purpose, I said. I only did it because she stole something out of mine. I already told you there wasn't anything in yours. Theo, can you walk them to the principal's office? Miss Serrato asked. Sure, Theo said. Ms. Serrato wrote a note to Mr. Goldblatt and handed it to Theo. I guess she didn't trust Claire or me to deliver it. We walked down the hall. Claire was grumbling about missing show and tell. But who cares about missing show and tell when you're missing your pet? I wanted a pet my whole life. Now I finally had one, and he was already gone. I didn't believe that Claire didn't find him in my backpack. But if she didn't put him in her backpack, then where was he? I hoped wherever he was, it wasn't too dark and scary and there were breathing holes. Was he alive right now, or back to being plain slime? If he was alive, he must be so scared. Poor little Cosmo. What if I never saw him again? Tears pricked behind my eyes. I bit my lip to keep from crying in front of Claire. We got to the principal's office. Theo gave the note to Mrs. Carrion, Mr. Goldblatt's assistant. You can go back to class now, Mrs. Carrion told him. You two sit right there, she said, pointing to the bench right outside Mr. Goldblatt's office. He'll call you in soon. I could hear Mr. Goldblatt on the phone on the other side of the wall. He has the kind of voice that's loud, even when he's just regular talking. It makes him even scarier. There was a big clock on the wall above Mrs. Carrion's desk, and I watched the minutes tick by. It's your fault that we're missing all of show and tell, Claire whispered to me. A few minutes passed. I heard Mr. Goldblatt say, All right, Bill. Call me back when you have the answer on that. Something buzzed on Mrs. Carrion's desk. "Piper, Claire, you can go in now," she said. Mr. Goldblatt was sitting behind a large wooden desk. He's really tall, so even when he's sitting down, he's taller than most kids. Claire and I took a seat in the chairs in front of him. "Tell me what happened," he said. His voice was so loud that it echoed. For a second, I was quiet, and so was Claire. Then we both started talking at the same time. "She went into my backpack," I said. "She called me a liar," Claire said. "She was a liar," I said, "and she ripped my backpack," Claire said. Mr. Goldblatt held up his hand. It was as big as a basketball. "One at a time," he boomed. "Claire, what happened?" "We got back to our class after recess. Piper said I'd stolen something out of her backpack, but I didn't." "What was in your backpack, Piper?" Mr. Goldblatt asked. It was slime. I made it last night." "Slime?" Claire asked. "You're being this weird about homemade slime?"
We are going to pause here, and on the next slide, you're going to tell me what figurative language is this when she said his hand was as big as a basketball.